Alright, hey YouTube, my name is Jupiter James, where I do what I want, when I want, and today I want to do astrology. So I've been going through my, through the houses series, signs through the houses series, and today we are going to be talking about and going through the 7th house, which is one of my favorite houses. The 7th house carries the theme and the energy of your contracts, your business partnerships, your friendships, how you interact with the world, and how the world interacts with you. This is more of a how the world interacts with you and what you attract without you really having control over it. So let's get into it. So we're gonna start with Aries in the 7th house. So if you have Aries in the descending line or the 7th house, this is gonna mean that you are an Aries descendant. So without your conscious effort, without in circumstances and things of when you are in interpersonal relationships with business, business partnerships, friendships, love. This also will be the house and the theme of the energy of the partner you attract in your life. They will carry this big energy of whatever the sign is in that house. Also, this is going to be like your shadow side. So your shadow side, again, is something that is not very you aren't outwardly reflecting this or outwardly sending this signal consciously, but it is what you attract because it is your opposite. This is a dual system. This is duality that we live in. And so everything needs a counterbalance in order for it to be 3D, right? So this is just what you attract without you trying. And also it gets you into situations that you aren't consciously trying to get yourself into or attract the type of people, but this is the dynamic that happens when you attract. So I hope I made that clear. Moving on to Scorpio in the 7th house. Scorpio in the 7th house is going to mean that you are a Taurus in the 1st house. And with Taurus in the 1st house, you are going to be someone who you are a very luxurious, beautiful, grounded human being, and you kind of value water-like individuals who are kind of really hard to pin down or hard to read, and that is because it gives your Taurian energy, it gives it something to kind of tangibly work at. Like, you don't mind doing the painstaking work that it takes to get to know a Scorpio-like individual, because a Scorpio-like individual is not grounded in the sense that they are so deep. Like, they are so deep, they're in the deepest of water. That's why they're not on the ground. Like, they are the very scared mermaids of this of the zodiac. Like, Scorpios are the very, very deep, icy, not grounded sign. Not in the sense that their head is in the clouds. Scorpio is more in the deep, dark waters. And so for you, being a very grounded sign, you are going to attract individuals and situations and people who carry that energy around them. They carry that energy of mystery. They carry that energy of, like, who is this person and why are they so beautiful and how can I possess that? How can I take this person who is so deep and make them mine? And, like, for the both of you, the time it takes for each of you, the Scorpio individual and you, the Taurus, the time it's going to take for the both of you to merge is going to be a-okay with each other, because for Scorpio, they keep things at such a distance because they're so skeptical of the human existence that they're going to admire how slowly you move towards them, which for you is something that you prefer. With Taurus in the 1st house, you are someone who you love to build. You love a slow build. You love a slow burn, and it probably takes you 9 months to come around to the fact that, like, oh, I got a crush on this person, or oh, I like this person, or yeah. And you don't mind doing the work it takes to build. And so for you, that makes it very scorpionic. Your relationships take on a very scorpionic energy. Because of the amount of work and the amount of energy you would put into it, it makes it so deep. Like, it makes it so, like, unbreakable. Because for you, relationships are that deep. Like, how you relate with the world, with Taurus being in the 1st house and Scorpio being in the 7th, that means that for you, you don't take relationships lightly. You do not Like when you have someone, you cannot imagine breaking with someone. Like it would take a lot for you to break up with someone, because it's like all this energy, all this effort, all this like all of what I'm doing, no way. Like you take it very seriously, and that's Scorpio. That's Scorpio as well. So you need someone who values that and is carrying that energy and feels that way as well. And that's Scorpio energy and Scorpio in the 7th house. Yeah. You are also gonna attract people towards you who want to control you, or because it's ruled by Pluto and Mars, so they're probably very like aggressive. No, I don't want to say aggressive. I'd say they're going to be more plutonic, as far as like they are going to want to, I don't want to say rush you, but they might be very manipulative sometimes, because they just want things done their way. Like, and this is the jobs you encounter, this is the relationships and the type of partners that you attract. You're going to attract very scorpionic figures who are very mysterious and very like controlling and icy and rigid and probably manipulative sometimes, but not in a bad way, only if it's not balanced. Very sexy individuals, and that's gonna give you, Taurus, in the 1st house, like that's tangible beauty to you. The most look at this, the most tangible beauty for a Taurus oozes sex. Does that make sense? Because it's so grounded, like it's not ethereal anymore. Like it's Scorpio. It's like crystallized. It's crystallized beauty. Crystallized beauty is sex. It's sexy. That's what it is. Because beauty gives me the energy of like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. It's a different octave of, I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, that is gonna be Scorpio in the 7th house. If you have Scorpio in the 7th house, can you tell me, do you attract a lot of sexy individuals who want to control you and sometimes manipulate you and keep you at a distance, but they also don't want to let you go because you don't want to let them go? Like, tell me right now. Tell me, please. So Sagittarius in the 7th house. Sagittarius in the 7th house is going to carry the energy of someone who, for you, this means you're a Gemini ascendant. So you are going to find yourself in situations, partnerships, business, contracts and deals, jobs that require you to travel. You are going to always be someone who is traveling. Like, of course you are, because guess what? Gemini ruling your 1st house, how you're seen in the world, right? How the world sees you is going to be someone who is always traveling. As a Gemini in the 1st house, that already gives you, right, your outside appearance. Look, your outside appearance is Gemini, right? And if I start to move like a Gemini, what does that mean? I'm traveling. As a Gemini 1st house, I'm talking to this one, I'm talking to that one, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. I am giving off, even though on the inside I am a Gemini, and I'm just in my mind, right? In the driver's seat on the inside as the soul, being Gemini, I'm just very cerebral. I'm just someone who wants to get all the information. I don't want to be tied down. I just want to get the information. I want to zip over here. I want to zip over there. But how the 7th house world interacts you and sees you is going to give a very, Sagittarius freedom, like traveling sign and energy. So the world is going to see you as someone who's very free, someone who's always zipping around and either spreading knowledge, giving knowledge, talking about something, spreading truth. And you are also going to attract individuals that are like this to you. You're going to probably end up with someone who is not of your culture, not of your land. You probably will have to travel or meet a lot of sexy individuals who just want to be around you when you travel. You're probably someone who you're like, why is it that every time I travel away from my homeland or like from the place that I reside in, I get the most action? Like, you're like that person, because Sagittarius is the very world traveling sign. And so that being in your 7th house, you probably have very good luck when it comes to your relationships and the people who are romantically interested in you, because you are now activating and strumming the chord of Sagittarius 7th house energy when you travel away. When you travel away, your 7th house gets strummed because guess what? You're traveling. You're Sagittariusing. You're Sagittariusing. Does that make sense? I like that analogy. Like, it gets strummed. It gets brum, and like then all of a sudden you're like, wait, why does everyone always want long distance relationships with me? Like, what's going on? Why do I only meet people who are around the world? Why do I only attract people who like have their filters on Tinder 500 miles away? I don't get it. What gives? But you are going to attract people who value freedom. They value truth and honesty. They're going to be someone who, again, is not of your land, culture, creed, or just you like very diverse individuals. So this is the sign of like someone who loves interracial relationships, or interfaith relationships, or people just who offer a different philosophy to you. If they can offer you a different perspective and view on the world, you're head over heels for them. You're like, let's get married tonight. Like, but don't get crazy and don't get clingy, which a Sagittarius 7th house energy never would, but that's just the fear. You're like, and don't get clingy. Like, yeah. Okay, so that is going to be Sagittarius in the 7th house. With Capricorn in the 7th house is going to be an individual who find themselves in situations where the person and the jobs and the organizations that they find themselves in are they're very creme of the crop. Like, the people that you attract, the people that come to you and the jobs that you're in, they're always like top of the line people, or top of the line energy. Like, this is like the type of person who finds themselves in very high powered, very rich, very successful businesses. Like, this person always is aligning themselves with very successful organizations and partnerships, and like very high quality people, like very rich, very just like, this is the type of person who attracts CEOs and people who are doing big things in life. Like, and for you as well, with maybe Cancer in your first house, you are going to want someone who is like, you have very high quality expectations of the partnerships that you have, and in the sense of like, you want someone who's very traditional and very grounded and very like, who's like able to build a very successful home. And what builds a very successful, luxurious home? Lots of money, right? That's what you want. Hello. So yeah, Capricorn in the 7th house. Capricorn in the 7th house as well, this is going to be someone who has Saturn in the 7th house, and it's going to rule the 7th house. So this is going to mean that you may marry later in life, because Saturn, whatever you do, whatever partnerships you have, whatever jobs you find yourself in, you find yourself that in order to get the last, like, in order to build the final union of that union, like marriage, like complete marriage, right? Like, you can date, right? But in order to get marriage, that last, like, that tip, that apex of that mountain, Capricorn, to get that last thing, it's going to require a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of like, Saturn, wherever Saturn is, he restricts because he wants you to master. He wants you to like I say wherever Saturn is usually like in your past life, where you probably did something that the universe was like, okay, that's an F on that test, and in your next life, I'm going to make sure that you don't get it wrong. It's like you are in, he's like, you gonna get this one right this time, and I'm gonna make you work at it. Like, you are in summer school. You are in summer school for it. And it's because he wants, wherever Saturn is, he restricts it. And he restricts it because he wants you to learn how to navigate it. And because eventually you are going to become a master at it. So you're going to become a master at relationships. You are probably someone who probably, you long for a partner, you long for someone, but for some reason, you're always like, well, I don't know how to do this. I don't. And that's a natural feeling. If you're feeling that way, it's okay. Usually you will get a partner, or you'll begin to attract people to you more easily after your Saturn return for whatever reason. This is also the sign of you'll probably meet the person that you are interested in, or the love of your life, when you yourself are doing very Capricorn things. So the minute you begin to make yourself successful, or you strive for success, or you go out and you're like on your grind and on your hustle for what you deem success in your life, or like a job or something, that's when someone's going to be attracted to you. That's when you're like, that's when the universe is going to go, okay, here. Does that make sense? Because like you are strumming the chord of your 7th house. If you want to attract, you got to strum the chord of that. You got to be that. If you find yourself getting into partnerships when you yourself are dabbling in the energy of the 7th house, which is Capricorn. When you are climbing the ladder to success, that's when someone comes, and they will be either like that as well, doing that thing as well, and you guys unite. So yeah, that's just a little advice for Capricorn in the 7th house. Capricorn in the 7th house is going to be someone who has very, very, very high standards, very traditional ways of the way they feel a relationship is. So there's someone who probably doesn't like one night stands or things like that. Like they're just like, it's by the book. Like, I am a very high quality person. I deserve a high quality man or woman. They better have their own thing going. They better have their own sense of very traditional morals, because I want a picket fence, a dog spot, and a red door. Like that's lit. You see what I'm saying? Like that's Capricorn in the 7th house, and you will attract individuals who are like that as well. And more times than not, those people are going to be older than you, because again, when they're older than you, what are they thinking about? They're thinking about those things: traditions, building a home, success, by the book. No more all the play stuff. We ain't playing. We're building a house. We're building a legacy. That is the energy of Capricorn in 7th house. It's like, if you can't come and build a legacy with me, don't come this way. Because I'm building a legacy. I'm doing. You better be as well. And when you come to me, we're going to help each other, and we're going to be like the couple that is building a legacy. Like a very successful one. Like Fortune 500. Like what? Like, come on, what's up? Like, the standards are at a peak, and you usually get that on your way to do those things. All right, so Aquarius in the 7th house is going to be an individual who has Leo in the 1st house, meaning that with Leo in the 1st house, you are already someone who, when you step out on the scene, you're the popular person, right? And with Aquarius being in your 7th house, you're usually going to go for individuals who kind of don't give you that spotlight directly, if that makes sense. Like they are someone who in their own right? Like for Leo, because they have so much shine on them, right? Their attention is so on them. It's going to take a very striking individual, a very weird, very off the cuff, very cutting edge individual to compete with all that shine that Leo already has, if that makes sense. And so while Leo 1st house has all this shine on them, and the spotlight is on them, the attention is on them, their ego is on themselves, if they're at a party, they're looking for someone who has not a sun on them, but like a lightning bolt, or a sense of like just like weirdness, something, a quirk that is just like, oh, I love that. I love that person is an individual. I love that person has his own thing going, or her own thing going. This is because Uranus is ruling Aquarius, and this is also going to be someone who, like, for you see it, you see it, and others may as well. But because you have your own sense of shine, you don't want anyone to kind of disrupt your shine. You want a complement to your shine. You want like you want like a contrasting, I don't know why it came to my mind. You want like a contrasting pillow, a contrasting accessory to all that you are. Does that make sense? Like so you don't want someone who matches your shine. You want a contrast to your shine. You want like, so like, you know how like when people, okay, so you know when people build a home and they've got like this color palette going, right? They've got like blues and greens and like white, and then they go, it's nice, it's very streamlined, but what could make this go pow? What can make this color scheme of this home go pow? A red door. You're looking for a red door, if that makes sense. You don't want something that will compete. You want something that will assist, and in a very striking way. So you go for very weird, striking individuals who, I don't know, they have their own thing going and they're very avant-garde and weird and strange, and you love that because they're just the contrast to your shine, and they're very technologically driven. They're very humanitarian. Like you may attract a lot of bisexual figures to you, or you may be a little bisexual, or just like androgynous. You want androgynous. I don't want to say weird, and when I say weird, I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean in a cool, avant-garde, striking, one-of-a-kind way. You just want that one-of-a-kind thing like that no one has, and that again does what? Gives you more attention, because you got that like strange character next to you that is yours, and everyone's just like, you are with him? Huh? Wow. Whoa. See, and that gives you more attention. You just, Leos are just masters at getting attention, whether they are consciously doing it or unconsciously doing it. You also, with 7th house Aquarius, you attract individuals who are very like, unemotional. They're gonna be like, because you have so much emotion and so much drama, and like just like, they're gonna be someone who like challenges you in the way that they don't give you the shine that you're looking for. And so for you, that is even more attractive, because it's like, in a sea full of shine, this guy that I am now giving shine to, this girl that I am now giving shine to, could care less. And for you, that is so rare for you and so striking for you that it just, you salivate at the mouth. You're like, wait, you aren't gonna admire this? When can we hang out? Because you're gonna make it your mission to get that Aquarius to give you some shine. You're gonna make it your mission. You're like, if this is the last thing I do, how dare you not bask in all this? Excuse me. I think that's so funny. So there we go. So Pisces in the 7th house is going to be someone who, you could be someone who relationships are very nebulous to you. Like, you don't really understand why the dynamic of relationships don't pan out for you as well as you'd like them to, or in a good octave, in a good sense, you are probably someone who the relationships, businesses, jobs that you partner with, they are on a very spiritual sense. You want spiritual people, very artistic people, very woo-woo figures, very head in the clouds individuals, because you love that. It is a balance to your very service giving and very structured way. Sometimes your friends are the very people for you who like, you want or need them to balance you out and just like, take a chill pill, let's go smoke some weed, let's have fun, let's get lost, and you'll do your work tomorrow, Virgo in the 1st house. Like, let's just have fun. Like, let's just be spiritual. Let's just be weird together. Let's get lost. Let's escape. Like, those are the friends that you have. You know, they help you balance that. And these are the jobs you have as well. They make you use your very creative mind. They force you to be a little creative and be a little nebulous in your mind. And yeah, it's ruled by Jupiter, so you'll probably be very lucky. The individual that you do attract to you is going to be very spiritual, very strange, very angelic, very just like, they're going to be hard for you to tie down. They're going to be someone who you want to fix them, you want to save them, you want to serve them, you want to help this individual. You almost will feel like you attract individuals who come to you always, no matter who they are, like, that you are romantically interested, they always have some sob story, or you see this like thing about them and you're like, why can't you just get it right? Like, and you are usually the person to do it for them. Like you have this like savior complex and you just want to help them because they're just so cute and so watery and just like, are they of this world? Like, are they real? Let me help them be real. Like, that's you. It's like, let me help this Pisces individual be real. Like, or you find yourself in jobs where the person, the job, the organization has this idea, right? They have this idea and it's up to you to ground it and bring it to reality. It makes you be of service to them because they have this concept, they have this dream, this idea, and you being Virgo in the first house, the businesses and the partnerships are gonna help you to make it real for them. And it requires you to be creative. It requires you to ground the organization or the person or the business for them. Yes, that's what it is. Like, this is the sign of like personal assistance. Like, what is a personal assistant? A personal assistant is someone who is taking this figure, following this figure behind, and taking all the dreams and the notions and the goals that they have and saying, okay, now you do this, now you do that. And lo and behold, right? Lo and behold, over time, with that Virgo on their side, they're gonna take all this creative energy and ground it and make it real. And you want to do that. You want that same dynamic in your love romantic partnerships. So that is Pisces in the 7th house. My name is Jupiter James. If anyone needs a birth chart analysis, a love reading, a career reading, a destiny reading, anything at all, astro counseling, if you just need therapy, my link is below and I would love to help you with that, whatever you got going on. That is my signs to the 7th house, and I will see y'all later. Have a good one.